Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So once again, these playoff episodes will be pre-recorded episodes, but anyways, in the last episode we simulated the season, and we made the playoffs with a pretty good record of 51, 28, and 3, which I think this team kind of over-simulated to an extent, because obviously we lost Morales a few episodes ago. We also lost Soderstrom and Duke Ferraro. And this team doesn't look as good on paper, but for some reason they still simulated pretty good. We had guys like Ortiz this year, Scuderi, Pasquale, all kind of step up in terms of offense. Also Patan, actually. And then like a Venisenkov, at the limited amount of ice time he was playing, scored 19 goals. So our team is looking pretty good in terms of depth scoring, even though this team did take a big hit with the loss of Morales right here. It could be because our defensive core is really that good as well. I don't really know. And then our goaltending was still the best in the league, even though we lost our starting goaltender in Soderstrom. So we're going to be relying on Jesse Park as our playoff starting goaltender. But we could honestly maybe flip him and Benson between the two of them in the playoffs, because Benson was really good in his rookie year. So it should be an interesting playoffs ahead of us. Hopefully we can get back to that Cup Finals again. But if we can't, this team might go through even more changes in the offseason, because guys like Thornton, for example, Kapitanov, Sea-Doo, Burns, they all need contracts this offseason. So this team might go through a little bit of a rebuild before it becomes better, but hopefully we can win a cup before that happens. So anyways, we're going to be taking on the Dallas Stars in the first round, just like we did last year. I think we played them in round 2, though, instead, and we managed to beat them. Their roster is pretty much the exact same, I think, as last year as well. There might be a few new changes, but you can kind of see that they're definitely a better team than us on paper in a sense, because they have a better bottom six, because guys like Campoli are down there, and Guryanov, also Harakala, and Cox. So basically, I don't know if we're actually the better team technically. We might have finished higher in the standings, but on paper our defensive cores are probably pretty even. They definitely have the better offense, and technically they have the better goaltending as well, just barely. So should be interesting to see who wins this. I don't know why they have Alex Newhook scratched, but hopefully we don't have to see him in this playoff round, and hopefully they just keep with Dubois there instead on that third line. But should be pretty interesting. Hopefully we could get back, like I said, to that Cup Finals, because last year might have been our window of opportunity to win a Stanley Cup, and we didn't do that. So let's get into this first round matchup against the Stars and see if we could get back to that round 2. And yeah, we got home ice advantage. Well, let's see what happens here. Hopefully our top guns can continue producing, because guys like Gene Thornton actually stepped up a lot this year, so we definitely need him to continue doing what he's been doing. Here we go, game number 1 on home ice against the Dallas Stars. First period, we're up 1-0. I'll definitely take that. Gene Thornton scores, so I literally just mentioned him, and he opens the scoring for us in the playoffs. Shots are 8-6 in favor of us as well, so not too bad of an opening period. Second period, we're up 3-2, so a little bit of a bad defensive period. I don't blame Park really, though, because he hasn't really had much playoff experience. So if Park plays bad a game, we could always turn to Benson, kind of alternate between the two of them. But Rentoul scored to tie the game up. Then Jääskeläinen gave us the lead. Then Wild tied the game up again. And Carter Ortiz, who, like I said, stepped up during the regular season, had 59 points, picks up a goal, and we're up 3-2. Shots are 19-15 in favor of the Stars, but we're up by 1 goal. Let's see what happens here in the third period. Can we get some insurance, please, boys? We need our big guns to step up. Penalty kill, and Guryanov scores. That's not good. Power play opportunity for us right back, though. We do not convert. Come on, boys. It's a close game in this first one, which is kind of what I was expecting with how they did during the regular season. Penalty kill here late in the third period, and they got the lead. That's not good. And we are going to end up losing game 1 4-3. That's not good at all. We had multiple leads in this game, and we blow it in the third period. So I think I'm going to turn to Benson for next game, give him a chance. But Jääskeläinen, Thornton, Teratukin, those type of guys, all doing pretty good as per usual. But we need our depth scoring to definitely show up as well. So yeah, we're going to definitely throw Benson in for next game, because I don't know if Park is that playoff goalie that we need him to be. Maybe our defense is just better in the regular season. I don't really know. But we definitely need to find a way to get this series tied up, headed to Dallas. So yeah, Park was not great in that game, so we're going to turn to Benson for sure and see if Benson can get us a win. Also, in terms of the rest of our forward core, I think we're going to leave everything else the same for now, but we could always make some changes if we really need to. So let's get into game number 2, see if we can bounce back with a win. If we lose this game, we might have to make some more drastic line changes than just the goaltending flip. So let's see what happens. Benson's playing his first ever playoff game. Let's see if we can get him to W. Come on, boys. First period, down 2-0. That's not a good start for Benson. So Miro Heiskanen scores both goals, one of them on the power play and one not. We're being outshot 10-9. So yeah, that was not a good period. We're being outshot 10-9 and down 2-0 because of 2 goals from Miro Heiskanen. We definitely need Benson to step up a little bit more than that. He looks like he has maybe a little bit of cold feet in his first playoff game, but hopefully he can kind of warm up in the second period, and hopefully we can get back at least 1 goal. Second period, we're down 4-0. This is going to be a sweep. We're going to get swept, right? I just feel it. This team is getting crapped on by a team that just barely made the playoffs. That was actually pretty good. Campbell and Harrick-Allen, we're going to be down 4-0 in this game. Third period, 5-0. Harrick-Allen scores again. Poor Benson plays his first ever playoff game and gets completely crapped on. We had like the best defensive team in the regular season, yet in the playoffs we're not playing like that. There's a goal from Ortiz. At least he's producing, but yeah, we're going to have to make some drastic line changes, I think. Because we're down 0-2, we lose both of our home games, so we're going to have to win both games on the road if we want to get back in the series, I think. That was not good. So definitely we're not going to be using Benson. We've allowed 10 goals now in our first 2 games of the playoffs. So we're definitely going to go back to Park, I think. And we're going to make some other line changes. So yeah, Park is going to be in defensively. Let's try and flip some things around. We're going to move Blocker down with Roach and move Yip with Teratukin. Offensively, we are going to split up Thornton and Kapitanov. Move Ortiz, I think, to the top line. Yeah, I think we're going to move Ortiz to the top line. And I think that might be it for changes. Do we have any guys we could call up? Not really. We do have Schutz who we could call up on defense, but I don't really know. Goalie-wise, we're going to probably stay the same unless there's good goalies down there. Sweat isn't really that good. He's been playing good in the AHL playoffs as well, so we don't want to make any changes to the AHL team, really. What do we want to do for other changes? I think that's all we could really do for changes. We just got to hope that our team could win 2 games on the road, because or else we are probably going to be knocked out in round 1. But like I said, I felt like this kind of could happen because Dallas honestly had really good stats. Like some of it was better than us, and we finished somehow way better than them in the standings. They also are 3-7 in their last 10, while we're 6-3-1. So technically you would expect them to kind of go on a tear all of a sudden. So not really surprised that we're down 0-2 in my opinion, but let's get into game number 3 and see if we could get back in the series. We need guys like Jaskalainen to step up for sure in this game. And we also need like our depth scoring to show up and our defense too. First period, scoreless. I'll definitely take that. That's a much better period than last game. Shots are 11-9 in favor of Dallas, but nobody has scored just yet. Second period, we're up 3-1. Let's go. That's definitely what we needed. Scuderi, Hedman, and Kapitanov score. Kiskinen scores for them, but we're up 3-1 going into the third. Shots are 23-18 in favor of us. Let's see what happens here in the third period. Let's just lock this one down, and then we'll at least have one game won in the series, and then hopefully we can win the next game to tie the series up. Because if we could tie the series up, then it's going to be a brand new series potentially. Penalty kill, nicely done. That was a 5-on-3 as well, so good penalty kill in there. And we're going to lock down the rest of the game in a good performance from Park, and we're going to win 3-1 in Game 3, and it is now a 2-1 series. So Scuderi from Sedin, Hedman from Sedin and Sea-Doo, and Kapitanov from Teratukin and Burns. Let's take a look at those plus minuses. Pretty good. A couple minus players, but that's all the fourth line, I think. A lot of our guys shot the puck quite a bit, so... And then, yeah, good performance from Park for sure in that one. Park's going to get the first star, Hedman the second star, and Kapitanov the third. So we're back in this series. We just need to tie this, win this game, and then we'll have a tie series if that is the case. And that would be good because we're going to be headed home after that if that is the case as well. So we got to really hope for another win here. So here we go, game number 4. We're not going to make any line changes considering the team just came off a win. Let's see if we could tie this series at 2, headed back home. Come on, boys. Let's keep the trend going. First period, scoreless again, so that's another really good opening period defensively. Definitely playing a lot better than the first 2 games. Shots are 15-12 in favor of us, but we have yet to score. Second period, we're up 2-1. Let's go. Harakala opens the scoring for them, but Ortiz and Patan score. So we're getting scoring from a lot of guys that really shouldn't be scoring that much. Like Ortiz has been one of our best players in the series for sure, but Patan scores. We haven't really seen guys like Jaskalainen score much since game 1, so hopefully those guys could step up. Shots are 25 apiece, and we're up by 1 goal. Let's see what happens here in the third period of game 4. See if we could tie this series up, headed home. Penalty kill. Long penalty kill. I don't know who took this penalty, but it was not a great idea to do that. We've been on a penalty kill for almost 10 minutes, and we managed to kill it all off. Penalty kill again. We kill it off again. Jeez. And 3-1, Burns scores. So what a good penalty kill effort in this third period. And it looks like Park is definitely stepping up, and we're going to win 3-1 in game 4. So the home team has yet to win a game. And we have a tie series at 2 headed home, which is really big news. Also, my voice is trying to go on me already, so I apologize about that. So Ortiz from Thornton and Jaskalainen, Patan from Lucic and Afanasenkov, so good on the fourth line. And then Burns from Roach and Kapitanov. But yeah, we've been definitely a lot better defensively in the last 2 games than the first 2 games of the series. And then also, yeah, Park has been amazing in the last 2 games. We just need him to keep that up. Maybe he just needed a day off, and that's why when Svensson went back out of the lineup, he started playing good. And then, yeah, Patan was second star. Burns is the third star. So we're back in this series, tied at 2. If we could win this game, we could go up 3-2. If we could win on home ice, that would be really nice because I don't want to be going... I don't want to go down 3-2, headed back to Dallas because I really don't trust that we're going to be still a good defensive team in Dallas. So it's a 2-2 series. Those line changes seem to have helped so far. Let's see if they could continue and see if we could take a 3-2 series lead here after we were down originally 2-0. First period, we're up 1-0. Let's go. We have not allowed a goal in the first period in the last 3 games, which is really impressive. Shots are 8-7 in favor of Dallas, but we're up 1-0 because of a goal from Gene Thornton. So good to see that top 6 scoring a bit right now. Second period, we're up 5-0. Holy crap, this team has turned it around a lot. Thornton makes it 2-0, so that's his second tonight. Jaskalainen scores 2 goals. So yeah, that top line is definitely producing now. And Blacker scores. And we're up 5-0. We have 5 goals on 18 shots. They do have their backup in net now. Looks like we're going to take a 3-2 series lead here. And hopefully we could play good next game as well and close out the series in Dallas. That'd be really nice. Pasquale scores. All of a sudden, this team is really good defensively. Sea-Doo scores on the power play. It's 7-0. Campoli scores a power play goal for them. But it's good to see that our power play is actually converting in the first round because the last year we really did not convert on the power play in the playoffs. Kapitanov made it 8-1, and that is going to be your final. So we absolutely routed the Dallas Stars in that game, scoring 8 goals. That might be our highest scoring playoff game of all time. I think it probably is. Thornton from Patan and Yip, Thornton from Ortiz and Teratukin, Jaskalainen from Thornton, Jaskalainen from Ortiz and Thornton, Blacker from Jaskalainen and Thornton. So Thornton had 5 points in 2 periods, which is nuts. And he added a 6th point in the third period as well. Wow. So Gene Thornton is an absolute monster right now. 6-point night and a +5. Wow. 2 goals on 2 shots and 6 points. You'd love to see that. Also, I just lost connection to the EA servers because I wonder if the patch is out or something right now. Hopefully it's not because I don't want to lose this progress. But yeah, Park has been absolutely nuts the last 3 games. So there's your 3 stars. And we are 1 win away from going to the second round. And we've only allowed 3 goals in our last 3 games after having a very terrible start where we allowed 10 goals in 2 games. So our line changes definitely have helped. Can we close out this series in Dallas? And yeah, go on to the second round. First period, 2-0. We still have not allowed a first period goal since game number 2, which is kind of nuts. So Burns and Kapitanov score. We're outshooting him 18-11 after 1. Holy crap, that's a lot of shots. So definitely our team has woken up out of the grave after those first 2 games. Second period, still 2-0 us. Let's go. Shots are 28-27 in favor of them now, but they have yet to score. So this is a very high shooting game. Let's see what happens in the third period. They scored. Dylan on the power play beats Park. It's a 2-1 game penalty kill, and they tie it up on the power play. It's Rintoul. That's not good. Our penalty kill hasn't been good in this round. Gene Thornton scores, coming off a 6-point game. Picks up a goal to give us back the lead. Good job, Gene. Power play still again, and we score another one, Ortiz, but it was not a power play goal. We go up 4-2, and we're going to win 4 straight games and knock out the Dallas Stars in the first round of the playoffs. So what a performance after those first 2 games. I thought we were going to get swept, honestly, when we were down 0-2, but we rallied back with 4 straight really good games, only allowing 5 goals in our last 4 games, I think, too. So Kapitanov from Blacker and Sea-Doo, Burns from Forster, Thornton from Pasquale and Yip, Ortiz from Roach and Thornton, and Kapitanov from Blacker and Burns. So our top 6 was phenomenal. 3 stars, Kapitanov, Thornton, and Park. But yeah, Park has definitely woken up in the last 4 games, because he started off really slowly in his first game, and then Benson was terrible in that second game. But since then, we've been amazing. Let's take a look at our player stats throughout the first round, and we'll take a look at who we're facing in round 2. It's good to be back in round 2 because I was not expecting us to get there. So Ortiz, Jaskalainen, and Burns all point per game. Pasquale and Patan a little bit quiet, but it is what it is. Not everybody could get all the offense. Left wing wise, Thornton was phenomenal. 10 points in 6 games and a +10. Sea-Doo 4 points and +2. A little bit quiet. Forster only 2 points and Lucic 1 point. Right wing wise, Kapitanov 6 points in 6 games. Skideri and Afinisenkov really nothing. So pretty much our top 6 dominated the offense, I think. Yeah, pretty much our top 6 did the most. And the worst in our top 6 was Sea-Doo, because Ortiz was really good. Defensively, Teratukin was pretty good. Blacker, Sedin were pretty solid. Yip and Roach were pretty good. Hedman was really quiet again, which I don't really like considering we are paying him still for 3 more years. But it is what it is. And then goalie-wise, Park was amazing since that 1 game where he played really bad. Really like that stat line. Hopefully that continues in round 2. And then Benson was pretty terrible, but he might get another chance in the playoffs if for some reason Park plays bad for like 2 straight games. But all in all, a pretty good first round of the playoffs considering we played really badly in the first 2 games. Now we got to see who we're facing in round 2. Hopefully it's a team we can beat. The AHL team is on to the second round, which is also really good. We are going to be taking on the Nashville Predators. I don't think we've played Nashville before. They went 45-30-7 in the regular season, and they went 2-7-1 to get into the playoffs. Jeez. So they have not been a good team in the regular season, but playoff-wise, they might be pretty good. And also in the second round, you got Edmonton and Anaheim, and then you got Toronto, Pittsburgh, so it looks like Morales is moving on to round 2. And you got Columbus in New Jersey, which means Soderstrom is also into round 2. So there's a 50-50 chance that one of those teams goes to the Cup Finals. So Soderstrom or Morales might end up going pretty far this year, which is kind of scary considering if our team goes far or not. Let's take a look at what those Nashville Predators look like, but I'm kind of scared based on their record in their last 10 games going into the playoffs. So they have Tolvanen, Halfordson, I almost said Arvidsson, and Pettersson. So a Swedish top line pretty much, except for Tolvanen, who I believe is a Finn. Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, it's still a really good top line. Second line, Jacobson, Rodney, and Houston. What's with all these Suns and Sens? Like, look at this. Tolvanen, Jacobson, Alfredson, Pettersson, Houston. But that's a really good top 6, though. I really like that top 6. Their bottom 6 is pretty weak, but their fourth line is good. You got Radish, Jilson, and Tikhonov, and a fourth line of Suzuki, Rudziska, and Dubois. So a veteran fourth line. Defensively, they're pretty good as well. Or actually, they're a little bit weak. So maybe that's why they simulated kind of bad. But they still got Lorenzo Riley, who's pretty good. Lincoln Green, Jamison Collins, and Andre Janicki. And third pairing, I almost said fourth pairing for some reason. They got Christopher Connor and Mazden Leslie. So that defensive core is definitely weaker than ours, which is interesting. But they also have maybe a better bottom six than us because of that fourth line. And definitely that top six is pretty good. Goalie-wise, they do have Travis Hamonic. What? Are you kidding me? A medium league goalie named Travis Hamonic? That's actually hilarious. Oh, man. So Travis Hamonic Jr. is a goalie for the Nashville Predators. Interesting. Signed for $96 million. Jeez. But yeah, this guy had a really good first round. And then the backup is Caden Primo. Nashville went to 7 games as well. And then depth-wise, they have Connor Punnett, they have Connor Timmins, and they also have David Farron. So 3 depth defensemen. So overall-wise, I'm not really super sold on their team, but I am definitely sold on their top 6 and their fourth line. Pretty much everything else is pretty average. Their goaltending obviously is pretty good as well, but sometimes elite goalies like that don't simulate that well in the playoffs. We've seen that firsthand in some of our series before, so that's interesting. So let me take a quick look also in comparison in the regular season, and then that'll be it for this episode because I'm kind of curious on how Nashville did regular season-wise in terms of their power play and stuff like that. We'll also take a look at their playoff stats actually too. But they finished with 97 points. They scored 3.17 goals for per game, so they're worse offensively than us. They're also way worse defensively. They actually allowed more goals than they scored, but they made the playoffs. Power play percentage, we are better. And penalty kill percentage, they were better. So yeah, they're not a good defensive team technically, but they might be in the playoffs. Let's take a look at their playoff stats as compared to us. Let's go by Western Conference and sort by wins. So there's the comparisons. So they're scoring a little bit more goals than us so far, but they have played one more game. We have a better goals against because of our last 4 games. Our power play is still off to a terrible start this postseason, just like last year. So that's kind of weird. We have a better penalty kill percentage. Their penalty kill has been terrible. So hopefully our power play could get going against that terrible penalty kill. And yeah, we're 1-2 on home ice, but 3-0 on the road, which is kind of interesting. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to round 2 against the Nashville Predators as we look to make it back to the conference finals. So let me guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.